a wonderful time this afternoon.
Yes, I just want to put my volume up.
Sure.
We are. I'm really looking forward to this live. So everyone, I'm just gonna put in the topic. So if I just introduce Miss Spencer in the meantime. So Miss Fern Spencer is a teacher of a secondary school, which is, for some it's called high school in some places, some countries. But she covers the lower high school, which is like junior high school, and the senior high school. So you cover like from ages, will that be like age 11 to 16?
From age 11 until they're about around 17 years old. Secondary
Okay.
school from 11 to 17.
So from 11, yeah, to 17 when they're looking
Yes.
to go into university.
Going to university. That's correct. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great. I'm just typing in our topic.
Sure.
So yes, and as I said, Miss Fern is I will call you Fern because do you mind me calling you Fern or should I call you
Not a
Miss
problem.
Fern?
You can call me Fern. Fern is fine. Fern is fine.
Okay, great. Fern is a social studies teacher, as I said.
That's
I really
right.
love social studies at school. It was one of my favorite subjects.
It is
Like
a
the
vital
whole,
subject.
studying about society and interactions, etc., and how we all relate to each other. And
That's right.
I love social studies. So she teaches social studies for high school, and I have been following Fern for a while. And as I met her through a friend, I met her. A friend that I knew when I was living in Trinidad. As some of you may know, I am Trinidadian. My both parents are Trinidadian. And I was born there and I left there when I was 13 years of age. And a friend who was my neighbor actually, I know her. I know Fern through her, coincidentally. And I was following Fern and I didn't actually know you were a teacher.
Okay.
Until recently, I think a few weeks ago, I saw you posted something and I was like, wow, she's a teacher. That would be really interesting to get to know more about what you teach, the ages you teach, and, talk to you about what I do. And, yes, and see how we can, discuss this together because I am really interested because I teach etiquette to adults and children. And I've always been curious, I've spoken to people at schools, teachers, principals, etc. And they're all really always very passionate about, yes, etiquette is, these things are important for schools, i.e. soft skills. It's important for the children, to know proper dining etiquette, to know proper social etiquette, to know how to deal with, difficult situations with poise and, be confident, to know how to do public speaking when they're called upon, to know these skills, to know how to communicate in the right way. So all these, what are called soft skills, they really all agree that it's important. But however, I've still found that it's not actually something that is being lobbied to be pushed more into the formal education system. And so I was just interested to then I asked you to do the live so that, we can talk about this publicly and then see what other people also feel about it, put it out there. Thank you so much, everyone who has joined. I can see you all. Thank you so much. Hi, Deborah. Great. So yes, Ben, sorry, I just had to say hello to some people.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
Us. Yes.
Not a problem.
Okay. So so how do you feel about, soft skills? Because soft skills are really a number of things. There are soft skills, which are like communication skills, speaking skills, things. Then you go into things like communication skills include
Mm-hmm.
not just speaking skills, verbal skills, but also non-verbal skills,
Yes.
such as um, your body language,
Yes.
your facial expressions, your giving eye contact the right way, shaking hands in a professional way. All these things are communication skills.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are skills that are things like leadership skills are
Yes.
considered soft skills, right?
Yeah.
Management skills, which is taught to professionals, because I
Mm-hmm.
teach things like networking etiquettes, how to network the right way. It's a soft skill, but it's a very important skill. I really dislike calling them soft skills because I think it plays it down. You know, it makes it sound less irrelevant than it really is,
Mm-hmm.
for society and for individuals to succeed,
Right.
because it counts for so much more, because it's not just, as we know, it's not just about what you know in your job,
Right.
i.e. if you're an accountant, you know, knowing your accounts, if you're a lawyer, knowing the law, if
Yes.
you're an architect, knowing how to design buildings. It's also about how you interact with your clients, with your peers, your colleagues. All of that really counts towards your success in your job. Hello, Red Berries. Thank you for joining. Yes,
Hi.
so
Good afternoon,
I want to hear what
Crystal.
you
Good
have to say.
afternoon. I just want to say thank you very much for having me on this afternoon, and it's such an important topic. It's one of the things that you and I have spoken about before, life
Yes,
skills. How does one prepare children to be able to function well in different social settings? We
yes.
discussed that, for example, those things are not taught at secondary schools in Trinidad and Tobago, right? Um, there's a woman by the name of Margaret Gordon, for example. She's married to Ken Gordon. And I mean, famous in Trinidad and Tobago for her etiquette advice. She used to write for the Trinidad and Tobago Express. If you wanted advice on how to set your table, what cocktail glasses
Yes,
to use, what's the proper cutlery, how do you set your table with china,
yes.
what's the appropriate clothes to wear for a cocktail party, how do you dress for evening wear? You know, these are the things that a lot of people are not familiar with. It's
Yeah,
not taught at secondary school. In fact, I remember when I was going to kindergarten, and you know, this is a favorite memory of mine. Our kindergarten teacher, her name was Granny Street, for example. And Granny Street would teach the children in kindergarten how to set the table, what
wow.
the appropriate cutlery, how you use your knife and fork. If you're having,
Yes,
what's the proper cutlery to use? Where are the placements of all the cutlery on the table? I learned that in
skills. Wow.
kindergarten, right?
That is rare. I don't know if they still do that, because I don't know any kindergarten school that does that.
I don't think it's something that is emphasized in our schools enough. And it is something that is
Right.
so crucial. I mean, how many adults go to a restaurant and actually know how to use a knife and fork properly?
Yeah.
Or
Yes.
if you're
Properly.
having
Yeah.
if you're having soup, what's the proper spoon to use to eat soup? Or if you're
Yes. And the proper way to eat it.
what's
Yes.
the proper way to eat it? Where does your napkin go? What's the purpose of
Yes.
a towel or the towel for you to wipe your hand? Your
Yes.
napkin is never supposed to be on the table with you. It's supposed to be on your lap.
On your lap. Yes. Yes. All these things, yes, so important.
It's so important. These things are not taught. These things are not taught in our secondary schools. In fact, what we have, I don't know if you're familiar with the subject home economics. In
Yes, I did home economics, yeah. But they
in
didn't actually teach me about practice. For me, maybe it's the school I went to. It was in England, because I moved to England at the age of 13 and I did home economics. They taught me a lot of recipes, how to cook basic recipes, how to bake bread or bake a basic Victoria sponge cake.
right.
They taught a lot of that, but they didn't actually even teach me how to set a table
Okay.
or, you know, about dining or anything. Yeah.
Right. Well, here, home economics, there's an aspect of the course that
Yeah.
teaches um, that teaches how to lay a table, how to set a table. That is you're taught that.
That is
Um,
great.
they
That
teach
is
you
great. Yes.
how to make a bed. They teach you how
Is
to
that
make.
that's at secondary school?
That's at secondary school. That's at secondary school. And
Yes.
then there's another course that's known as HFLE, which is Human and Family Life Education, right? You will get aspects of etiquette, composure. You would get
Yeah.
how to set the table,
Yeah.
those introductory skills. But it's not something that is widely used in the curriculum. And I
Yeah.
think there is need for something like that, especially in a situation where, uh, let's say you're starting your first job. You may have to,
Yeah.
you may have to speak publicly. Many people
Of
are
course.
afraid.
Yes.
People are afraid of public speaking. I
Public
remember.
speaking is the, sorry to cut you, but public speaking is, I mean, I've done a course in public speaking because I realized how important it is. Public speaking is not even just about just speaking in front of a large crowd. Having an interview on an interview panel with just one person or two people, a job interview, is public speaking as well. And
Correct.
it's such a good skill for everyone to have. And it's the number one fear. There's been research on it. It's the number one fear of people. Some people fear public speaking more than death. That was
Wow.
what the research found.
I did not know.
But
You taught
it
me,
is petrifying. It's scary.
you taught
So
me
it's
something today.
but it can be taught. It can be perfected.
I
It can be
remember
taught. The skills can be taught. Yeah.
I remember when I was in primary school, one of the things that I was involved in was public speaking. We took
Yeah.
part primary school, we took part in public speaking competitions. So reading,
Yes. Great.
creative writing, all of those skills are such important skills that are lacking in our young people. And
Yes.
we hear it manifesting when they don't speak properly. And
Yes.
it's a tragedy because you wonder, are we giving them the right tools
The
to feel
right tools.
confident? If you don't
That's the question. Yeah.
if you don't feel confident, you don't feel good about yourself, then that lowers your self-esteem and it makes
Exactly.
you now a target for people who may take advantage of your vulnerabilities. They may
Yes.
they may mock you the way you speak. Some people think that speaking properly is not something to be proud of. Because why? People say you think you are better than other people because
Yes. Yes.
but
But it's
speaking
about knowing, don't you think it's about knowing when to, you know, for me, etiquette is about knowing what to do at the right time,
that's
depending
right.
on who you are with, the
That's right.
situation you're in, the
Correct.
place you're in. you know, the circumstances. So people, you know, children need to understand that, yes, when they're with their friends, you know, because they are young adults, they are teenagers. So I tell them they're free to be themselves, because it's important, right, for them to, they're getting to know who they are. They're trying to find out who they are. So that's all part of it. Fine. Be yourself, have fun, relax, talk
Right.
anyhow you want with your friends. But you need to know when to switch,
Correct.
right? You need to know when to appropriately switch, because you need to win in life. You need to excel in life, and you can't remain one way, speak in
Mm-hmm.
the same way to everyone, and think that you're going to win.
That's
So
correct.
yeah, that's what I tell them.
Well, that is interesting that you would say that, Sasha, because when I was doing my postgraduate diploma in education at the
Yeah.
University of the West Indies, one of our lecturers, his name is Dr. Winford James, and he was very passionate about Trinidadians being able to speak be- between the Creole, which is our version of the language, and
Yes.
standard English. So you, as
Yes.
one must know when to switch between the vernacular.
Exactly.
So obviously,
Exactly.
your friends, you're hanging out with, with co-workers, or you're relaxing
Yes.
at
Yes.
a restaurant. You may not have
Yes.
you may not have to speak in proper English, but at the same time, if you're with friends and you're with family, of course you enjoy yourself, you relax, but still
Yes.
mindful that you are in a social setting, and
Exactly.
you must have proper manners. So you know,
Yes. Exactly.
you're not going to drink from a soda bottle, or you're not going to drink from a glass bottle. If you're having a beer, you can ask them to pour the beer into a glass. You
Yes.
have to know.
Yes.
So
Especially as a lady. Yeah.
as a
And you're in public. Yes.
and you're in public, correct. You know, you don't want to be seen drinking from the mouth of a bottle. You know,
Ideally not. Yes.
yes, so important. And
Yes.
I applaud you, because I look and I see what you are doing, and it's such a wonderful initiative. There needs
Oh,
to be,
thank you so much.
yes, I think there needs to be more exposure given to what it is you're doing, the importance of the skills that you're teaching. A lot of people,
Yeah.
young people especially, do not know how to communicate properly.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
use of text language
Mhm.
has completely, I think, impacted upon people's writing skills, their speech, how you speak to somebody.
Yes.
You
That's a
know,
question I have for you actually
go ahead.
about text language and
Right.
um, at school, because yeah, they have shortened a lot of the words. Most
We
young people, I wouldn't say all young people, but most of them seem to have shortened, you know, BTW. By the way, they
we
have all these acronyms. Yeah.
we see it.
So
We
do you
see it
see that in their work they produce to you as a teacher? Oh,
absolutely,
wow.
absolutely,
Okay.
and it's something that you have to cons-
Yeah.
something you
You
have to
have to keep right.
consistently correcting, because you cannot, for example, if you have to write a letter to an employer, a potential employer, or you have
Yes.
to present a
Hmm.
piece, you
Yeah.
cannot use that language, cannot use
No, absolutely not.
in in
You
your di-
will. You can get fired, but you know if it's something quite
or you
serious like
pass,
that.
you may be passed over as a potential employee of that
Yes.
organization, because when they look at what you are producing, um,
Yeah.
it's not a
It
it's
wouldn't fit
not
up to standard. Yeah,
it,
professional standards.
that's
Yeah,
correct.
so I think again is what we keep saying about being able to adapt, right? Text language is fine if you're texting your friends
Correct.
or you know your family or whatever, but young people need to know, or young adults, or even some adults, you need to know when, when to switch. I mean,
That's right.
how can you produce writing to your teacher to mark with text language in it?
No.
Yeah. So yeah, it's obvious that they're not mindful of you have to adapt to
That's
situations.
right.
Yeah.
You see, as well, it's the protocols, it's the accepted code of behavior. What is acceptable and what is not
Yeah.
acceptable. And so, as you rightly identified,
Yes.
there are things that you are not expected to do in a particular setting. So you would not go to an interview,
Exactly.
for example, you would not go to an interview and use broken language. You're not going to speak Creole
Yeah.
in that setting. What is expected of you
Yes.
is professional behavior. You dress
Yes.
yourself properly, you attire yourself, you take care of your personal hygiene, right? You have all of
Yeah.
your documents, your qualifications, and if they ask you questions, you're expected now to answer in a particular manner. You have to watch your
Yes.
you have to watch the cadence of your voice. You have to watch the way
Yes.
you speak. You're not going to use
Yes.
not going to use a loud and aggressive manner. You're going to be able to
Yes. Your turn.
you're going to
Yeah.
have to articulate yourself properly, that the interviewer who is interviewing you hears you properly and understands what you're saying. Because we have some
Yes.
people have the proper tone, but their language is so garbled. Sometimes you see, because as we go back to it, they've not been taught how to speak publicly.
Yeah. Public speaking. Yeah.
So it goes back there. It goes back
Yes.
there.
Yes. So
Goes back.
even simple things like knowing the speed of how you speak as an interview. I've
Yeah.
interviewed people where they speak very fast and you can't really understand. Then there are some people they speak very slowly. So
Mm-hmm.
little things like that really makes a difference to
Yeah.
the person listening to you, whether they're going to listen or they will switch off.
That's
So
correct.
all these things are little things that I teach for young people and adults. It's really so important. It's so important.
What's the
Most of us,
mm-hmm.
sorry,
I was going to
I
ask
was
you
going to say that most
that.
of us don't actually get. I mean, I didn't get any of this training um, that we're talking about, and I think still today, because I have a teenager at secondary school, and even today, I don't see her getting any of that, and it kind of frustrates me at times. It's like, well, I do it myself, so I guess because I recognize that there's a gap there. Is she really prepared for the real world,
Right.
the things that really count, right?
Right.
There are studies that have shown that is actually a Harvard University study showed that 85% of your success in life or your
Mm-hmm.
job, 85% is based on your people skills and your soft skills.
Oh,
The other
that
15% is about you knowing the job, your technical knowledge.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if you notice, even when, we're at work, some people get promoted quicker. And you may think, well, I know just as much as they do.
Why are they
But
getting
there's something different
yeah,
about them. Maybe they
yeah.
have those skills, right? Those soft skills that is pushing them
Yes.
a lot faster than you are.
But
Yeah.
it's
So it's
interesting that you say that, because I don't even think you should call them soft skills. Ideally,
Yeah, I really don't. Yes. I
they
don't
are
like calling them that. Yeah.
they are life skills, and
Life.
they're
Yes.
important. They are so important. What sets someone apart, as you rightfully identify?
Mm, yes.
You know, what makes the employer take notice of one prospective candidate
Yes.
interview over the other? It's that person's poise, the way they
Yes.
hold themselves, their
Yeah.
assertiveness, their confidence.
Yes. The
You know,
confidence.
that
And
person. Mhm.
yeah, confidence comes from somewhere. I believe for not for everyone, it doesn't come naturally. Some people are just kind of born with it, right?
Right.
But some of us, we have to develop it, and you should be able to, as parents or as adults, we should see in children the ones who may need that coaching or that guiding or that refining in terms of to bring out their confidence, because it's in them, but sometimes some of them you have to find a way of bringing it out, right, through training or coaching.
It's
Yeah.
interesting that you say that, because I remember when I taught at a school in Port of Spain, there was a program that was designed by a group of teachers on staff to mentor young women on their dress code, but it was
Okay.
done particularly for graduation time. So we were teaching the young girls
Okay.
what would have been appropriate dresses for them to wear for graduation.
Right.
Because,
Okay.
at graduation time, a lot of the young women tend to go a little bit overboard, right?
All right.
The
Yeah.
style of dress is sometimes, outrageous. Outrageous. When I tell you outrageous, the dresses are either
Right.
very tight,
Yeah.
or very, very short, right?
Yes.
Now, yes, you want to look fashionable, you want to look good, it's
Yeah.
your graduation, but you don't want
Yes.
to have everything out there with
Yeah.
nothing to the imagination, right?
No, not an occasion like that. No.
Right. So those were some of the things that we would teach them. We would also teach them
Right.
um, how to eat properly at the table. What's the proper cutlery to use? You know,
Yes.
things like that. There was also a
Yes.
similar program that the male teachers would conduct with the young men. How
Oh,
to buy a
fantastic.
suit, how to tie a
Yes.
tie, if you're wearing a
Yes.
bow tie, your
Yes.
cufflinks, how to present yourself. Because it's
Yes.
so important. When you
It's
look
so
good,
important.
you feel
You
good.
feel good.
You feel good. And when you
Yeah.
feel good, it manifests itself in your
Exactly.
confidence, how you
Yes.
carry about yourself.
Yes. Yes. It's so
So
important to see.
it is so
I'm really
important.
happy to hear that you do. There is some of that, going on
Yes,
for the
yes, we do
graduates.
recognize, teachers do recognize that there
Yes.
is need for that kind of thing in the school. But, sometimes in the hustle and bustle of the academics, those things don't
Yeah. I know
always
it's a
get
lot. Yeah.
the focus they deserve.
Priority.
Yes.
Yes. Focus. Yes. Yes. Because of time. I mean, some principals have said that to me, that it's the time. The curriculum is so full. With obviously they need to do their English, math, their core subjects and their other subjects, that it's sometimes difficult. But I just hope that will change. I'm hoping that the things I do is putting a bit more focus in their
Yes.
minds on
Yes.
these areas for young people, because they're not going to be remaining in school all their lives. So we really
No,
have to prepare
no.
them for after that.
That's
And
right.
after that,
That's
it's
right.
such a different world.
It
It's
is.
such
It
a different
is.
world. There are some comments I just wanted to make notes of, just to
Sure.
check. From Deborah Bayak. Says, good afternoon, ladies. While I currently work at a large children community residence and we are working at reinforcing life skills, great, etiquette, etc., as significant for our residents. So she works for a children community
Oh,
residence,
that sounds wonderful.
and she says they are working at reinforcing life skills and etiquette training for the
Wonderful. That's
children.
wonderful.
That is great. And
That's
she's in
wonderful.
Trinidad.
Oh, that's
That's great.
wonderful. That's really
Yes,
nice. That's really
yes.
nice.
I'm
Um,
I'm located in Ghana, for those who don't know. in Accra. And yes, I'm also trying to do the same here with institutions here. Yeah. You
Have
wanted to
you,
say something?
yes, I was going to ask, have you designed a program that you think you can approach schools in Ghana to get your program in schools?
I have. I have a program because I do it anyway for the people who sign up their children. I guess it's a private, it's people who privately sign up their kids, nothing to do with the
Right,
school. So that program, I have even gone to those schools and, to say that this is what parents are really asking for.
right,
Some of it comes down to cost as well, because it's like, does the school pay? So are the parents going to pay for this? Is it going to be
right.
considered something extracurricular? So we have to, discuss and see what is best for
Okay,
where, parents can buy into it and the school will also buy into it.
right, right.
Yes.
Okay,
But
sounds
it's
interesting.
looking positive. It's
Wonderful.
looking positive, and I will keep at it.
That's wonderful.
Deborah says this seems to be a good initiative. Thank you, Deborah. Okay, we've got a comment from Lily Harper. 2 comments. She says, I think that etiquette should be studied in schools. Please push this initiative because young people now lack these skills.
Yes,
Thank
that's
you,
correct.
Lily Harper.
That is correct.
She says, I remember reading this book called Courtesy for Boys and Girls. It taught me a great deal. Great,
Wonderful.
yes. There are lots of good books as well, yes, that helps a lot. I'm actually in the process of writing a book
That's great,
with some
Sasha.
other etiquette coaches, yeah.
Great.
It's going to be more than, it's going to be, it's an international etiquette book. So it's 20 women, etiquette coaches in different countries, different continents. So we've
Right.
all come together to produce a book talking about etiquette in the specific countries. So I'm
Okay.
talking about Ghana in my book. I'm going to represent Ghana as I've been here a while. I
Right.
left Trinidad so young that I haven't really been back. Well, I went back
Right.
twice.
Okay.
Last time was 2008.
Right.
So it's been a while. Yes. So I'm looking forward to that book. And I will let you all know when it's out. It will have a lot of great tips.
Right.
Lily says manners is the key word. Yes. Yes. Manners is so important. And manners, it's so much more than just saying please and thank you.
That's right.
Manners is also about how you carry yourself, right? Because how you carry yourself affects how you treat other people.
I was just about to say, to treat others,
Yes.
tolerance
Yes.
for others.
Okay. A comment from Deborah says, it would be significant if we can encourage this initiative with the children we are working with. This will increase their sense of confidence and poise. Yes. I mean, learning etiquette does really increase even parents who have had their children signed up to the programs. They see that the child feels more confident. Because
Yes.
part of my training also includes confidence building.
Confidence building.
Because I think it all ties in. I don't teach just etiquette without teaching confidence building.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Any more comments? Okay. I think, okay. We have a couple more. Okay, Deborah says, unfortunately, many persons are intensely focused on intensely focused on what their friends think, but not what they believe they themselves think. Along with that, understanding in having high ideals. So yes, peer pressure. I think
Yes.
is what she's the gist of what she's saying is people are focused on what other people
What other
think,
people think. That's
and for
right.
young people, that's a difficult a challenge.
Expect.
I mean, we've all been there.
Yes.
Peer
Expect.
pressure to dress a certain way,
Yes.
wear certain clothes, look a certain way.
That's right.
So wearing a long skirt, well, a skirt past your knee is not considered
Not considered. Is not.
cool or fashionable,
No.
right?
No. 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 No.
So
No.
yes, yeah. So things like that, I think we could just have to keep reinforcing them,
That's right.
reiterating it to them that it's yes, you can wear your short skirt, but know where to wear it
Where
to
to wear that skirt?
and
Yes.
when to wear it, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for all your comments. Any questions at all for Fern and I? We will take any questions or any comments. It will be great to hear about people's experiences. Some
Yeah.
people have shared that they've had books as a child about etiquette that helped.
That's
Fern
great.
has talked about her kindergarten training, which
Yes. Yes.
is great. I think that must have been something unique to with the teacher you had at the time. Maybe it was something
The
she was
teacher.
passionate about
The teacher.
personally.
She actually. She traveled. She was well traveled, well spoken.
Okay.
She was also a former educator herself. And she was very, very big
Yes,
on um, proper manners, proper etiquette,
right, right.
decorum, speaking well. Um,
Yes,
you know, the saying, children are seen but never heard.
yes,
The idea that no child, especially when I was growing up, you were not allowed to be in adult conversations. You know,
yes.
you could not interrupt two adults while they
Take
were
part in
speaking.
that. Yes, that's true.
No, you
Yeah.
were that was something unheard of, totally
Yes,
of. But you know,
yes,
today, societal rules have changed.
yes,
Traditions
yes,
have changed. Social media has
yes,
transformed a lot of norms and mores. And,
yes,
this generation of children, um,
yeah,
they don't see authority the way in which
yeah,
we, in my generation, saw authority. So there were some things that I could never say to my parents. There were some things that you knew you never spoke back. If your parents
yeah,
told you to do something, you did it
yeah.
with a question. And
That's
now
true. Yeah.
I'm 12-year old, and she I say sometimes she's 12 going on 20, because she would ask me questions. She would question
Yes,
certain things.
yes, they do. Yeah.
They do question. And
hmm
I would um I
Which I
and
think is fine. I encourage them to question.
yes,
Yeah,
I check the questions. But
yeah,
what I teach her is, you question from a position of respect. You ask
yes,
your questions respectfully.
definitely,
You interact
definitely.
from a position of respect, right?
Yes,
You don't ask
yes.
questions disrespectfully.
It's the way you ask.
It's the
Yes,
way you ask. It's the manner
yes,
in which you ask, you know?
definitely.
And so
Yes,
that, I think, is what is important. That is where I think
definitely.
social media has
Yeah,
blurred the lines a bit. Social media has blurred the lines a bit, where these children, they think that they're on equal footing with adults because of
mm,
freedom of information that they may have access to. But
exactly.
we, the
Yes,
adults, have to teach them the necessary social constructs that would allow
yeah,
them to function properly without being disrespectful to those in authority. You can ask your
yes.
questions, of course, because asking questions is a valuable tool to be able to
Of
learn,
learning.
of
Yes.
learning. That's right. And you don't want to interrupt learning. What you want to
Mm-hmm.
be able to do is to enhance your learning,
Exactly.
to enhance
Yes.
you know?
Yes. Beautiful, beautiful. Yes. Important thing. Yes. So we don't stop them from questioning young adults, teenagers. It's part of them getting to understand the world
That's right.
that they're living in, and they're curious. And it's good that they can act, they feel bold enough to come to an
That's
extent,
right.
because some kids may not ask, but they find other means of finding things
And
out
that's
or
where
ask the wrong
and
people.
where things can,
So,
that's where
yes,
things get problem,
yes,
problem.
yes,
They go seeking for the answers in the wrong areas.
place. Yes, very dangerous. So it's just how they ask, as you said,
Correct.
the
Correct.
manner. You don't ask in a rude way.
That's right.
You're taught. You don't shout when
That-
you're asking something, or you don't you don't be too pushy, but you
That's
ask
right.
in the right way, because the way you ask the question is actually going to affect the answer you get, and
That's right.
how cooperative
How
the person
cooperative.
will be
Right.
in
That's
giving
right.
you a good answer. So it's in your
Hmm.
benefit to always be respectful
That's right.
and have good manners.
Correct. Correct.
Yes. Okay, Deborah said, how can we consider some viable form of collaborations with the aim of creating a paradigm shift in mindsets?
That's a good
Yeah,
question.
it's a good question, and it's a tough one. To change mindset is always tough,
Yeah. Because you're looking
right?
at whether or
Um,
not people have the will. Do people have the will
yes,
to change? To change
yeah, but yes. But I think social media has really helped me, because I think without Instagram and such media that can reach so many people that
so
I
many.
wouldn't ordinarily be able to speak to, or show my work, or show my passion, and show what I'm trying to do, it would have been a lot more difficult,
Right.
right? So I think this has helped, and I mean, I'm happy to collaborate with anyone anywhere in the world to talk, to talk about these topics, to put forward ideas to schools, programs, to help you put together a program for a school, maybe if you're in another country. I'm
Right.
happy to do that, to work with the program I've got and see how we can collaborate to put through, if you're in whichever country you're in. Yeah. So that's anything is possible. With social media today, anything is possible. And
That-
I do online coaching, so but
Okay.
with the internet, you can do anything.
Correct.
I believe now, yes. I mean, I'm coaching children or adults in different countries online in etiquette. So country is not a barrier
True.
to
That
collaboration, right?
that's
Yeah.
right.
Okay, Deborah says these are the life skills that should be
And
engendered among our youth
from the
from the
cradle.
cradle.
That is so
Yes. I remember, Fern, you'd mentioned when we spoke briefly about this before, on um, whether it's a responsibility, soft skills, well,
yeah.
let's not say soft skills, life skills, etiquette training, communication skills, all
That's
these things that, young people need to succeed in life, to succeed after school, whether it's the responsibility of the parents to do these things, or is it the responsibility of the school? It's
that's
a
a
it's
very
a good question.
that's very that's a very interesting question because you can't learn everything at school. The school cannot teach you
Yeah.
everything. And this is where
Yes.
you
Yeah.
have the
Good
partnership,
point.
the parent, and the village, your community, your support
Yeah.
system.
It
And
takes a village to raise
it
a
takes
school, to
courage,
raise
right?
a child, as
So,
they say.
um, but life today has become so insular in some instances. People
Yeah.
are shut in from one another. I mean, this pandemic has had, such
Yes.
an
Yes.
impact upon quality time with loved ones,
Yes.
mental health,
Children interacting, yeah,
children interacting, you know,
with,
the need
yeah,
for social interaction. And so this is where we go back to the foundations. Parents
yeah.
have responsibility to their children. As parents, what are we teaching? How many of us, I remember when I was growing up, you had to make your bed. That was the first thing when you get up in the
You do
morning
every morning.
after you
Yes.
prayers, you make your bed. That's what I remember. When you finish
Yeah.
bed, I remember, for example, washing clothes. At 9 years,
Mm.
my twin sister and we were taught how to wash our school uniforms, right?
And
Uh,
that's hand wash.
yeah,
Yeah.
you do the hand washing.
Expect.
Scrub, you would
Mm.
scrub the neck of your shirt. You'd scrub the underarm of the shirt, and so you had responsibilities. You had chores. Even
Yes.
before you get into preschool, your parents would teach you
Mm.
how to count from 1 to 10 or 1 to 20, teaching you the alphabet, teaching you your colors. And so this is
Yeah.
why I was able to tell you when I went to kindergarten, Granny Street taught us how to set the table because that was one
Yes.
of the things we did before lunch on Sunday. When your mother preparing lunch, you knew part of your
Mm-hmm.
responsibility was to set
Yeah.
the table for
To set the
lunch.
table. Yes.
Got the
Yes.
knife, went in one position, knife on the right, fork on the left, right?
Yes.
Had your your
Yes.
your your table mat or your place mat, and
Yes.
that was the standard. How many children today
Fantastic.
know how to set a table?
Yes. So you think today it's not something that is happening in most
No,
homes?
I don't
Yeah.
think. I don't think a lot of children
Yes.
today are even familiar with eating with knives and forks.
Yeah, they're not.
How many children
Many
know
are not. Yeah.
of meat?
I think
How to
also the time, yes. It's a shame, but I mean, I understand a lot of parents
busy,
working, now and busy, and they
busy,
say they really don't have the time like their parents may have had with them. They
correct?
feel guilty, they don't have the same amount of time. So yes, they don't they get home from work and
Ti-
to
Tired.
teach a child to set the table, and it's like it's too much. Yeah,
But
so
that's where your area of
yes,
expertise is so
yes,
needed. Is so
yeah, because
needed.
it's important for them
It
to learn all
is.
these things.
It
Yes,
is. It is. I mean,
yeah.
some people don't put importance on it, but it is such a
Mm,
vital skill. As you have said,
yes,
it is like these are the life skills
yeah.
that our
Life
children
skills.
need to be equipped with to help them
And
to be able to
it helps
function
the children, yeah. It helps the children to be more confident.
more
The
confident.
more they learn to do these things, you will
Ye-
be amazed how they feel more and more confident in themselves, and they want to do
Yes,
more, and they
they
do more
want
by
to.
themselves.
That's right.
Yeah,
That-
yes.
That's right.
Because I believe it's we're raising children. All we're doing is we're preparing them for life without us. That's how I look at it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can
How are
they?
they going to cope without you?
That's what I was going to say. Can they go
Yeah.
to college? I was telling my daughter
Yes.
a couple of weeks ago. She was telling me she wanted to study possibly, fashion design and baking. She wants to be a baker, right? And that when you go off to college, what will you cook for yourself when you're alone?
Yes.
Are you going to
Yeah.
club? Will you be able to make your bed in college? Will you be able to feed you? Will you be able
Yes.
will you be able to function as an adult? And this is where we're looking at the holistic development of the individual.
Yes. So
Holistic,
important.
right? And
Yes.
as this person in the comments said, starting with spiritual development and refinement, it's something that a lot of people, your relationship with your creator, your relationship with God, that is the cornerstone. That's where it all begins. when
Yes. Yes.
we acknowledge that connection with God, when we receive God's love, we are then able in kind to reciprocate it to others. He says, love
Yes.
one another as I have loved
I
you.
love you.
Treat one another
Love.
as you want to be treated.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
that's all part of etiquette
it's all hand
and
in hand.
good manners, right?
It's
Yeah. Because we want
always
to be
hand.
treated well.
That's
So
right.
yes, you should treat
You
others well
treat
as well. Yeah.
that. That's right.
Great.
That's right.
I think okay. We're gonna, because of time,
Yes,
I think we have to round up.
sure.
So before we get cut off, because I think we have an hour.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Is
very much for having me. It was
Thank you.
a discussion.
I just want to round up by reiterating to everyone that, yes, the title of the subject is the importance of soft skills, but really it's so, as we've discussed, and you have seen that it's really not soft skills, and it should not really be called soft skills. We will rename them life skills, because
Life
it is skills
skills.
which will set up children, even adults, because a lot of these things, some adults still really don't know them. A lot of adults don't actually know some of it. Some of what is taught to kids, some of us don't know it still. But I believe it's never too late to learn. It's never too early to teach a child, and it's never too late to teach an adult.
That's right.
Right? Because I believe in being a lifelong learner,
That's right.
where we must keep on learning. Whatever
That's
gaps you
right.
see we have, or you identify a gap, you find a way of learning it. Get coaching. Go and do a public speaking course. If you want to improve your public speaking, if you think it's going to help you in your job or whatever, invest in it, do it. And it really will make a difference. It will really, build up your confidence and be an investment worth it in the end.
That's right.
So I would like to thank Miss Fern
Thank you.
Spencer so
Thank you.
much, and it's just so nice to connect
Same
with
here.
someone from my homeland.
Same here.
It's special. It's special for me because I don't see any. Well, I have a couple of friends from Trinidad in Ghana, but they're
Right.
not many. So
Okay.
it's very special
I had a
to
wonderful
connect with
for having
you.
me. Thank you for hosting me this afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you for your time and giving us all your knowledge and your experience as a teacher. It's been very insightful, especially for
You're
to know more
welcome.
about how the secondary schools are looking
Yes.
at these areas.
Yes.
And yeah, so we'll just keep pushing for
Yeah.
etiquette and life skills to be taught more and more
More of it. Yeah.
within schools. I think slowly it will creep in there
I
in
think so.
various ways.
I think so.
And yeah, so we'll keep at it.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone, as well, for
Take
joining.
care.
Everyone who has joined. Thank you so much for your time.
Take care,
I will
Sasha.
save the video on my Instagram page, and I'll send you a copy of the video, Fern,
Sure.
as well.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, everyone. Bye. Bye. Thank you for joining.